Over the last 10 years, I've supported tons of driven women around the world. We're talking thousands in transforming their lives. So many people come to me. They don't have a life that they love. They don't know how to get it. They don't know how to get the results that they're craving. They want financial freedom, time freedom. They want to be able to make decisions based on desire, not fear. Maybe that's you today. Maybe you feel stuck. Maybe you constantly find yourself wondering if life is going to get good. I promise this one video is going to change everything for you. I'm going to share something that completely changed my life. It's something I go back to time and time again, literally day after day, because it helps me so much. And I know this is going to be a game changer for you too. So if you're new to my world, I'm Emily. I skipped grad school to work at Starbucks, moved back in with my parents, ultimately ended up moving to London, England on a whim, where I met my husband, hi James, and started my online business with over 6 figures in debt. I went from $442 all the way up to 7 figures in just 18 months. And now I help women around the world create a life that they love. So today, this strategy that I'm talking about is simply a quote, but this quote has the power to change everything in your life, and it's going to support you in getting anything that you want. Now, the reason why this quote is so important is because it really helps you to actually generate belief that what you want is meant for you. This is one of the biggest issues that I see with driven women. We don't believe that our desires are truth. We push them off to the side. We say that we'll do them next year or in 10 years when the kids go off to college. And we don't actually believe that everything we're craving is meant for us and possible. And I'm sure you can imagine if you don't have that belief, then you're also not going to take the action to get the result and get the thing that you want. So belief is truly everything. And when I first read this quote, who, by the way, it's by an author named Raymond Hollywell, I was flabbergasted. I was like, where has this been my entire life? Because it speaks so perfectly to what so many of us feel. That question mark around, can I actually want what I want? Shouldn't I just be grateful for what I have? Shouldn't I just make the most of what I've already been given? But the truth is, you can be grateful and still desire more at the same time. I give you permission. I actually talk about this in my book, the I Heart My Life book, linked below, so you can definitely check that out. But today, we're going to dive into this quote, and I'm going to break down why this is so important and the key components of this quote that will help you get anything that you want. So let's dive in. I'm literally going to read it to you, and then we're going to break it down. So the first part, he says, is true desire represents the urge of life seeking a fuller expression and is kept alive by the continuous expectation of its fulfillment. So what he means here is that your desires are actually pointing you in the direction of the fullest version of your life. So maybe the desire is to fly first class around the world, or take a trip to Italy, or have a baby, or start a business. So that is actually leading you to your fully expressed life. And yet so often we stop ourselves from going in that direction. We stop ourselves from moving towards the thing. Again, because we feel guilty, we don't believe it's possible for us, we don't know how to make it happen, but you're literally denying yourself and the rest of the world, by the way, the most fully expressed version of you, which is your truth. Then he goes on to saying, it brings to us the ways and the means for its manifestations. The principle explains no desire is felt until the supply is ready to appear. So I love that part, because oftentimes we feel the desire, we get the urge, and then we're like, well, I don't have the money. I don't have the time. It's not possible for me. I don't have the skill set. I'm not smart enough, not pretty enough. This is literally saying that you can completely trust your desire, because it wouldn't actually be there unless the supply was ready to appear, unless you were able to make it happen, or this thing was ready to come into your life, which is huge, right? If you literally believed that everything you felt, all the desires were meant for you and possible, and that they were available to you right now, just imagine how many more action steps you would take. Just imagine how many less sleepless nights you would have. Your life would change. You would reduce so much anxiety, so much worry. You would spend so much more time in the present moment, so much more time taking that action in the direction of your dreams. The last part of the quote says, no mind can be conscious of a need or desire until the possibility of its fulfillment already exists. So again, coming back to the fact that everything you want is meant for you and possible, period. Again, really envision, how would your life change if this was the quote you based your entire life on, based your action steps on, based your desires on, your decisions on? Everything would change. And now I'm not saying you're going to get it perfect. I'm not saying you're going to get everything you want overnight. There's going to be work. There's going to be time where you have to put in the action steps, and there's going to be hustle. But all the hustle is leading you towards your fully expressed life, which is a lot more than what you can say about your life right now. Most of us are living a shell of our life. Most of us are living a small portion of what we're actually capable of. Most of us are deserving and desire so much more, and yet we're afraid to admit it, not only to ourselves, but to other people, and to go for it. This is telling you that you have the permission that you need to make that happen. You already have everything within as well. Now, I want to come back to the top of this quote because it's also really important that we touch on one final piece. So I already read it, but he said, true desire represents the urge of life seeking a fuller expression and is kept alive by the continuous expectation of its fulfillment. Now, this is really important because how often do we basically take one step forward and one step back because we feel like something isn't happening? I had a coach once tell me that you're not going to reach your desires by taking the pot on and off the stove. Shout out to David Nagel. So basically he's referring to when you're trying to heat up water, you're not going to see the bubbles and get the water hot enough if you're taking it on and off the stove. You have to keep it on the stove. And yet so often we're taking our dreams and our desires and our mind and our belief on and off the stove. And so what's really important about this part of the quote is that you stay persistent and you stay in full faith that what you know is meant for you is possible and it's on its way. Even if it takes weeks, months, years, decades, you know it's meant for you, you know it's possible, and it's on its way. So I hope this is super helpful. Next steps I highly recommend are getting my I Heart My Life book linked below. You can also get my Hot Mess to Mega Success ebook, also linked below. You can take the How to Get Anything You Want masterclass, which is completely free. And then stay tuned for the next video because this is going to help you put everything together and make this video even more powerful.